Welcome to the House of the Spirits. Welcome home. This reading today is about what is blocking you and how to break free from it. Before I begin, I would like to invite you to subscribe to the newsletter and join the community, because I'm also noticing that some YouTube channels are being removed, not only tarot readers, but they're being removed without explanation and without warning. So if you join my community, we can keep in touch, and I'm also creating exclusive content for the subscribers. So let's begin with the reading. Pile number 1, we have Virgo, Scorpio, and Libra. Finally, we have Sagittarius. So your card is Prison. For the second pile, we have Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Cancer. Your card is a long way. For the third pile, we have Gemini, Leo, Taurus, and Capricorn. Your card is Theft. Okay, so I will give you a moment for you to choose your pile using the deck, the card, the zodiac sign, or just your intuition. I will see you in your reading. Pile number 1, your card is Prison, and it is very much in tune with the theme of the reading. So what is blocking you? Possibly it's more than a block, it's more of a feeling of imprisonment. It can also mean isolation. There's some sort of a build up of things, a construction that is limiting your movements. Okay, let's see. What is blocking pile number 1 and how to break free from that blockage? He of the fiery sword, and fairies of the future. Okay. What is blocking pile number 1? And how to remove that blockage. Okay, Mars in Leo with egotism. Saturn in Scorpio with inheritance. Jupiter in Pisces with seduction. Mars in Aquarius with detachment. Jupiter in Leo with publicity. And Saturn in Gemini with concentration. Okay. There are a lot of similarities between these two cards here. So maybe the isolation and the separation from others. is blocking you? It's like there's a moat here, there's a moat here. I feel like there's this separation between you, like your inner sun, like your identity, your personality. There's some sort of separation between that and the outer world. Like there's this moat. And I feel like the way to break free from that is also hinted already in these cards here, because it's like you need to send a message that is widely spread and seen. And it's also a communication about future events. So it can be some sort of like a futuristic idea, and a vision for the future, an idea that can change the future, that can change the course of history in a way, or somebody else's story. And it's like the information needs to get out, because you have publicity, and you have He of the Fiery Sword is this boost of energy, this like forthrighteousness, this direct action, directly applied energy into something very specific that ends up sending a message. And I feel like with this little devil here and the mouth, over the mouth, I feel like it has to be something very specific. Like it has to be something that's very well thought of, that has, so you also have these swords and you have the sword. So I feel like the ideas, they need to be focused, they need to be concentrated into a single message, like having a very coherent message, having a very coherent speech. Because I feel like you will be able to break down the walls that are containing your personality, let's say, that are containing your creativity, and expand that energy into the future. So not only in space, like as a feeling of communication, of just passing down or passing the word, letting the world out, the word out. It's also creating future instances, like future situations. It's sort of liberating the energy, your personality into the world, your energy into the world, so that it sends a message, and then it creates future possibilities. It creates lines. It creates new lines, like this new, like a web. The High Priestess. The High Priestess and the Fairies of the Future is giving me this kind of prophetic, so maybe you are knowledgeable about a prophecy, or something has been prophesied that is touching, particularly touching for you, or you feel like there's a part of your life that is involved in a prophecy. You can also be thinking about, like, someone said something to you about your future, and you might be elaborating on that. You might be this might also be a part of your blockage. For instance, if you had like an encounter with like a tarot reader, energy, any kind of predictive style, predictive technique, might have created an impression about you, about who you are, and also how you impact other people that you might be now questioning. Three of Cups. The Ace of Swords. The Magician. And the Three of Pentacles. So I think that you felt this blockage become clearer in an interaction with someone or a group of people that you enjoy being with. And there was this like appeal to authenticity that you're working on, like you're working on it, because you need to work on defining your identity also. Maybe there was a part of you that was kind of identified with the walls, with the building. So if your identity is created, if a part of your identity is to be isolated, that's going to kind of reflect upon your relationships. It's going to impact the way your energy flows through the networking. It's as if there's an illusory quality to that. Like there's this deceit. And the Magician is not about, it can be about deceit and illusions, but not necessarily. There's also this need for presence, for being in the moment. So although you might be, although there might be like prophecies and ideas about the future that color your view, they're like a tint, they're like a certain lens with which you might filter the reality that is presenting itself in front of you. I think that there's a need for being present and detached from what you think identifies you. A detachment from identity, that's interesting, is a way to better communicate your identity. The Hermit. The isolation and strength. Wow. Interesting. So now I get this other idea that you need to balance. You need to balance your identity with other people's expectations in a way that is detached. It's so, I can visualize it. I can visualize and feel in my body like what it would look like. I would love to try to describe it. It's like imagine you're in a party and you are interacting with everyone, you know everybody, You're also curious about understanding their deeper motivations. You want to know all about them. You want to deepen every relationship there, and you also want them to see who you really are, but in a way that doesn't end up interfering so much or changing who you are, because I feel like you're very sensitive. You can be it's like you can like wear your heart on your sleeve, or you can be this really interesting, seductive even energy that people might tend to, cling. And of course, everyone projects their own expectations on others, and this is almost impossible not to do. We can only perceive what we know. So if we encounter something or someone who is completely alien to our wisdom and our knowledge, it's very difficult, because we need a lot of time, and maybe years and even generations in some cases, to integrate some kinds of information. And that's, the nature of our existence. But I imagine you being in the middle of that interaction, being able to act, being able to exchange, to speak, to listen, to process what you're being told, but also in that moment to be in this kind of meditation where you can see everything that's happening, but like a movie. So there's this detachment, and the interactions change. And because the interactions change, you get to be who you are. It's like an award, getting an award for being who you are. Getting an award. You're getting an award. Okay, that's another thing. So maybe you have seen yourself getting an award. Maybe you might get an award. Maybe that's something that you have dreamt of. I feel like that's coming. That's coming for you. But right now, what we're talking about is you being able to break free from who you think you are, so that you can be who you are, so that you can be in the moment, and to be growing in the moment, to be transforming in the moment right before people's eyes, without them interfering too much or thinking that they are the ones creating that in you, owning the transformation, but also allowing other people to express themselves, to be themselves. So, very interesting. This reading is a lot about who you are, and how you perceive yourself. Four of Wands. Yeah, I do feel like you're getting an award, or like you should get an award, or that it's not that you're owed, but it's just that it feels like it's in the energy, and it's coming. It's very near. The Three of Wands. I feel like someone has their eye on you, and they know that you're going to achieve. Okay, just give me a moment. So there's the Justice card. Okay. And the King of Wands. So it's interesting that someone is looking out for you. Someone knows exactly what you're capable of, and they understand where you're going and how to award you with something that can be useful, and it's also fair that you get it. It's just, it's something that I feel like they're working on for you. And maybe there's something about the expression of your personality that might be blocking this for now. 10 of Swords. You might be thinking that things aren't going your way, but they actually are. The Lovers. I truly think that someone's choosing you because of your work, because of how of what you have already achieved, of what you have shown them, of the results of something that, you know, they know who you are. They know who you are. And now it's time also for you to also know who you are. And that happens with you being very present in the moment, but also detached. So if you allow yourself to transform in the moment, you will be closer to who you really are, and you will also be in your energy without the interference of others. And you will be able to concentrate that energy in that moment, so much so that it becomes like the powerful place from which you emit your vibration. Let's say you emit your message, you send your message from that powerful place. And it's like sometimes the social interactions, they mess up your signal so much that you end up kind of maybe showing a part of you that's not really you, and then the next moment, the next time that you find that person, there's this discontinuous, you know, it's not a smooth, seamless pattern of, you know, of energy. It's kind of weird, like it's almost as if the wavelength keeps shifting. But if you allow that change to occur as the person is with you, they will know how much you can modulate your energy and how dynamic you are. So it's the pattern is the so the people we are trained to recognize patterns, right? We are our intelligence is based on pattern recognition. And so if you can concentrate your dynamic in the moment and be very spontaneous or authentic, with Three of Cups here, there's the authenticity in the Ace of Swords. The Magician also, I feel like there's this breaking of an illusory pattern and the creation of a new one, the creation of something that is much more workable, much more practical and down to earth and realistic. It also helps other people to adjust their expectations about you and not be disappointed and not, you know, send you any like bad vibes, because they understand where you're coming from. It becomes safer for them. The Chariot. And the King of Cups. This is a really powerful, how do I say this? Like a pathway, a powerful pathway to a sort of independence. It's like your own brand of independence. Your own brand of independence requires you to express the changes that are going on to be, this deck is really cartoonish, so it's also giving me this sense of being less like a cartoon and being more realistic, but not in a disappointing way, in an exciting way. Learning how to get people excited about the future and getting them on board with something, getting them to ride with you. Like, it's not exactly convincing, but it's more like spreading a message, advertising a way of doing things that is yours. It's although it seems very self-centered, if you think about it, it's not, because you're changing your whole idea about who you are. And that's the whole purpose of this process. It's that transformation. And if people see that transformation occurring right before their eyes, they understand where you're coming from, what is your wisdom, because you bring something really deep for them, but they need to break free from a certain illusion that you might be creating unintentionally. It can be just some sort of safety, like some sort of firewall that you create so that you have more freedom, so that your inner world is completely yours, so that the knowledge that comes from that interaction is completely owned by you. But there might also be this need to be patient with yourself. Because sometimes you might be, you might want to be isolated because you're impatient. And it ends up like reflecting on your social interactions, but actually that lack of patience is first of all with yourself, with certain aspects, with certain feelings, like certain triggers maybe. And it sends a message about you that's not true. That's because the message is changing, it keeps changing, but it's almost as if people only see one part of the, it's like when you listen to only one part of a song and then you can't like get it out of your head, and that just brands the song into your brain forever. And then you listen to the whole song and you're surprised, like, wow, this is the whole song. How could I, just remember this part and not enjoy the whole story? Because it might be so rich and so perfect. Because a lot of the times the little hooks, the little like sound bites we get, they just, they're the earworms. They just get in your head and they create also like energy patterns. And the energy pattern that is created in the mind of others about who you are ends up messing up the signal of what you are also sending, intentionally sending, out into the world. So yeah, it's important to note that breaking free from this blockage requires patience and some gentleness, kindness with yourself. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, I would like to invite you to subscribe to the newsletter and keep in touch with the community. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 2. Your card is a long way. And this can have several different meanings. It depends on the rest of the cards, but right away, this can be just being very close to your objective, the need for patience, the need for stamina, for patience, to wait. Let's see. So what is blocking you? What is blocking you? And how to break free from the blockage. How to break free from it. Okay. List of the shadows. Iris of the rainbows. And the singer of healing. So I feel like you're still healing from something. And it seems like you're very close to changing your context, to changing your environment, your life. It's like you can see the rainbow. The storm is clearing. The clouds are clearing. And you're healing. And I feel like a part of this is just waiting. So a part of the breaking free from this is just waiting and relaxing, maybe. Because healing is not only something that you actively do, it's something that happens in your body naturally. If there's nothing harming it, your body tends to heal naturally. If you give it time, if you give it the relaxation, the rest, the food, the nourishment, emotional nourishment, spiritual nourishment. Jupiter in Leo with publicity. Interesting. I think this goes here. Okay. What's really blocking pile number 2 and how to remove that blockage. Are we done? Just 2 more. Okay. Saturn in Capricorn with riches. Moon in Aries with protection. Saturn in Leo with generosity. Venus in Virgo with discrimination. Okay, we'll leave this for the other part of the reading. Let's see. Ten of stones with home. Five of stones with endurance. Yeah, now I guess I understand that this has something to do with your ability to sustain yourself, with your ability to create abundance, to make money, but not only make money, but to manage just manage resources. And so I feel like you're coming from a period of retreat and getting into a period of social interaction and also communication. And I think that this is somehow connected to your ability to have a sustainable lifestyle and create your own abundance. It's like you can see something taking flight, something lifting off that you're working on, that you created possibly. And now it's time to speak up about it. And you just have to wait for the effect. You just have to wait for the impact of what you are doing to take root in other people's psyche, in other people's minds. There's something working in the shadows, so there's a lot of invisible things happening. There's a lot of things that are happening not because of your actions directly, but your actions end up working in unseen ways, in ways that you're not made aware of. And it can be hard sometimes to see the rainbow, it can be hard sometimes to see the opportunities, but they are coming, and you just need to be patient and to relax. Okay, so yeah. Two of Bows with decision. King of Stones with Wolf. And the Four of Bows with celebration. Okay, so we have Moon in Virgo with order. And Saturn in Scorpio with inheritance. Interesting. So I feel like your abundance is going to be created by, it's like you will fit in a system that is not created by you exactly. And your abundance is also inherited. There's something here about you having access to an inheritance. Having access to riches by inheritance. The Four of Cups. And the Queen of Cups. It's really happening behind the scenes. That's how I'm feeling it. It's something that is not in your line of sight. You're not seeing it. That's why it seems kind of boring. It seems like nothing's happening. It requires that patience. The journey. Seven of Cups with mourning. the green woman the Knight of Arrows. Okay. There's something here that's up in the air that's going to take flight. I feel like the way to break free from this is very unconventional. It's very strange for me even to kind of describe, because I feel like the end result is that it's coming in a time that you're not seeing it. You're absolutely not seeing where this is coming from. The solution comes from a very unconventional place. And I feel like it can be related to the spiritual world. The spirit world, it can be related to the spirit world. And it can also be related to your ancestors or to someone who has passed. It's as if you are trying to apply the energy of someone who has passed correctly so that it creates and sustains your physical and spiritual abundance. The solution to this happening comes from a strange place, but it is a place that is very emotionally rich. So it can also be someone else who is possibly a part of this family dynamic that can bring you some solutions or ideas, like genius ideas of how to do this. So what about timing? Because timing seems to also be important here because of the patience that is required. And also because we have order here, I feel like there's some sort of pattern in the timing of this. Queen of Bows with hair. Eight of Bows with hearth fire. This is the Eight of Wands. So I feel like it's going to be at an unexpected time. It's going to be fast. The change is going to be really fast. It doesn't mean that it's right away, like tomorrow. It seems like it's soon. Certainly it is like from a month to 6 months tops for me. The moment will seem like a great shift. It's going to be like seeing something that was hidden. And I just realized that there might be a different angle to this reading. Also, because the Queen of Cups, Queen of Vessels, represented by the salmon. Salmons, they die trying to find their way back to their birthplace so that they can lay their eggs there. And it's really like coming back to the beginning of the reading with the long way. Like it's a tough purifying process and of self-sacrifice, a deep inner knowing of doing what is right in spite of it being very hard to do. So I feel like you really took the long path towards what is important to you and what you want to do. And it takes a lot of healing to happen to you also, and it also takes a lot of healing to happen in the collective. I feel like you are kind of waiting for a chance, waiting for the right timing. And the hawk is also interesting because the hawk is a lot about common sense. So what is common? Common sense. So what is mutually agreed between you and the collective? What is the common place, the place of agreement, the place where things are ordered, where things have, a certain meaning, a certain significance? And the hearth fire it's an interesting interpretation of the Eight of Bows, of the Eight of Wands. So this communication that's quick, this information that travels quickly, this can also be related to the internet. There's something there for you, I guess, also, like using the internet, working with spirit, working with the unseen, working with harsh realities also, like mourning, working with difficult emotions. And you also have the shadows here, the list of the shadows. So working through healing. So maybe some of you are also healers. You are maybe achieving like financial success through healing, both yourself as well as others. And if you are working with spiritual practices or disciplines, something like that, it takes a lot of self-sacrifice, and sometimes you don't really see the results until something in the collective starts to click, because maybe you are like a part of a soul group that really needs to process a lot of things before seeing the results, physically, because I feel like this reading is about a physical, like a material block. So the way you free yourself from this is really through love, through the love that is expressed through self-sacrifice, through achieving a common reality with a group, creating a group dynamic, maybe even here, guiding spirit. So possibly I'm speaking to people who are working in spirituality somehow. We also have the cross here. So there's this sense of a spiritual mission here. And the block might come from the material aspect, because sometimes we focus so much on the spiritual that it's easy to kind of overlook the material realities, because there's this, kind of almost natural detachment from materialism, but not in all traditions. And I'm speaking to a group that might have some sort of block in the material because of their spiritual mission, and specifically at this point in time. But it's going to change, because you're getting there, although it might seem like an uphill battle with the salmon. But your inner knowing is so strong, like you have this sense of how you want to see the material results of your work. And I think that the path that subtly opens in front of you is that creation of a common ground with another group, or with a group of people that start to contribute, maybe, or they might start to exchange ideas with you. You create for them, they create for you. There's something like finding a something in common with other people, joining a community, joining a group, speaking about things, communicating things. Yeah, and you also have publicity. So communicating what you do, communicating what what you want, what is your vision, even in the material sense, might also be interesting here as a way to break free from this block, because this is, for me, the hawk is the greatest advice here. I'll actually, because he's all about like a common sense approach. So simplicity, common sense. I think that you will also, I just uncovered the inheritance here. So I feel like there's also this possibility here of some of you either working with a tradition that you have inherited. It can be a spiritual one, or just a family business, or some sort of family estate. So this is like the more common sense approach, more like down to earth, common sense, good ideas that are quickly put into practice. Yeah. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also subscribe to the newsletter so we can keep in touch. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 3, your card is theft. And this can mean that you lost something, or that you are being stolen, or, being removed from something that it's rightfully yours. Let's see how this fits into the reading. So, what is blocking pile? What is really blocking pile number 3, and how to remove that block? The Oakman. And himself. Interesting, very masculine energy. It's like the older version, the older and wiser version of the young man. So what is blocking pile number 3? And how does pile number 3 remove that block? Okay, Jupiter in Virgo with patience. Jupiter in Leo with publicity. It's interesting that this card came out in all 3 of the piles. Saturn in Capricorn with riches. Another card that came out in pile number 2. Jupiter in Capricorn with control. Mars in Cancer with quarrel. Sun in Aries with assertion. Mercury in Gemini with flattery. And Mars in Aries with impulsiveness. There's a lot of like masculine energy here. Very masculine energy. But you know, right away I feel like there's this there's this young man or this younger energy that wants to do something, and they're faced with opposition by an older person, an older energy. And it's like they feel like they're being robbed of something. They're being stolen something. They're being outcast. It's like being an outcast. And then wanting to kind of conquer through force or through a change, like wanting to conquer something through like using the energy. Like if you change the energy, if you alter something in the energy abruptly, it's like a way to exercise some sort of control over the situation, to get back that which was stolen. I also feel like you have to be cautious and not announce what you are going to do before you're ready. And I'm not saying that there's no sneakiness here. There's just this need for things to move. There's this need for things to change. I'm almost feeling like I'm an activist or something. Like I am very driven. I have very strong certainties, let's say. Beliefs. I have very strong beliefs that I want, even if it's just about yourself. Like maybe you have a strong belief about who you are or about what you want for yourself. You're very sure about what you want. And there's something stealing you, or someone stealing your story, or stealing your motivation. Four of Staves. Four of Cups. Two of Swords. There's this kind of passivity here that's not really in tune with the rest of the energy. I feel like there's this need for action, for movement, and things are very stagnant. Like they feel stagnant. So maybe this is like the block that you feel, like you want things to move forward. You have seen how they can be, like you have maybe even agreed to something, and you were expecting it to develop. You were expecting it to move forward. And something is stealing that from you. Something is stealing your motivation. Something is stealing your drive. Nine of Staves. Prince of Staves. Queen of Swords. I feel like there's this need for hyper vigilance that is very draining. Very, very draining. It's possibly the energy vampire here is that you need to, it's like your attention is dispersed because you need to be hyper vigilant about something, and it would be better if you trusted. It would be better if you trusted. But I don't feel like you can, because you're very on high alert. Like I feel like you're a bit highly strung, you know. There's a lot of energy that wants to kind of come out, maybe in kind of explosive ways. And it is happening because of a certain lack of faith or a lack of trust. A lack of trust. Two of Staves. So there's a lot of staves. I feel like there's a lot of wands. So this is about your drive, your passion, your energy, how you apply it. And I feel like it's like you know what it can be. It's achievable, but now you have to choose a path. 10 of Staves. Three of Cups. And Isis with magic. So the thing is, you might have to let go of something. You might have to let go of something that's actually not very you have waited for it, but you can't see it. You have been promised something, maybe, or you promised yourself, or you thought it was going to happen, and it didn't. Like, it didn't go the way that you envisioned exactly. You might have to make a choice. This choice can seem like you're letting something go, like you're letting something fall, or someone fall. Because I feel like there's this competition for control here between maybe even between two parts of yourself, like two faces. And it's like you want things to move forward, so you want to make a choice. And I don't think you want to think about it too much. Although it might be good to do that, to be patient. It might have been wise to do that. But the thing is, you're so hyper vigilant, and I feel like you're tired. You might be like tired of this. It might be just a big drain on your energy. This indecision, or this kind of stalemate. It's like you need a result. It's like when you have like this competition between, teams that certainly it just reaches this draw situation, and something has to change because there needs to be a result, even if it's unfair, even if it's kind of impulsive, even if it's just not very considerate, let's say, of people's feelings, of people's expectations. I feel like it's better for your energy, for things to move, even, if it's a little bit blunt. But to be patient would be nice. If you can be patient and not hypervigilant, that would be the best, magical operation here. Eight of Swords. There's this feeling here of the interference of someone else's energy. That's why I feel like the stealing is occurring. It's here, like the thoughts, the conversations, they drain you. Ace of Swords. Truth is needed. Truth. Judgment also. So, concluding something, having a conclusion, a logical, understandable, rational conclusion of something. This is, there's a lot of swords here. And the Queen of Swords, to me, is kind of trumped by Gwenwyfar, who is knighting this prince, or a knight, a prince. It seems like it's a prince because he has a crown. And it's like there's a logical conclusion that empowers you, and that is the best conclusion. Because if you are empowered and if you are in control of the situation, you don't need to be hyper vigilant and constantly kind of catering or walking on eggshells, or trying to satisfy other people's needs. This is the way I feel. This is the way to go. This is whatever logical conclusion comes out of this, whatever the opinion of others, whatever your own opinion, it only matters if you are able to decide, if you are the one who decided, who decides how things are going. And it might seem like it's a little bit like tyrannical, but I do feel like it's not, because there's this need for the expression of your authority over the situation. And it will help everybody if you are able to harness that magical power, because it's a magical power. It will unite people. It won't separate people. It will maybe make you feel like you are a bit separate from the others, because now you're different, because now you're in a different level. Now you are knighted. So you have a responsibility, but you also have a power. And it can be a bit because you're going to be called for it. You're going to be people are going to hold you responsible for something, and that's scary. I think that's something that I see here. So this might be a little bit specific, this reading, but that's what I'm seeing here. You being the owner and the one who implements your own ideas without the interference of others, especially others who are a drain to your energy, especially others who are demoralizing, who are not a part of a vision that is a meeting that is balance of energies, that is balanced and also dynamic, like that feed into that energy that you have envisioned for yourself, because it's authentic for you. It's like an authentic expression of your energy. So patience now, instead of hypervigilance. That's the best way I can describe this, is if you replace hypervigilance with patience, you will see through the interferences and understand how to own your power, how to discern what is right from what is wrong for you, and what is best also for a wider circle, because I feel like you might be put into a position of authority, and that can be, it attracts so many. It's like moths to the flame, right? Authority, positions of authority, celebrity. We all know that attracts a lot of different energies, let's say. So sometimes they're very positive because people want to they want to also amplify your passion and amplify your flame. They want to be a part of it. They want to follow you, let's say, in a sense. But sometimes there are people who also want to steal the authority. They want to interfere. And that's what I see is it's not right for you. Because you need to trust the people around you. You need to trust them. There needs to be honor. There needs to be righteousness, authenticity, truth, above all else. This is like the core of the advice here is truth, authenticity, righteousness, honor. That's the way to also awaken the authority. Authority that trusts in a higher power, that trusts in God, that trusts in the benevolence of and the goodness in other people that want to participate, and not the authority that is hypervigilant, that is afraid to be, overtaken, that is kind of paranoid. It happens in leaders also. People who are in positions of power sometimes start to get, a little paranoid because they're afraid of being manipulated, of being controlled somehow. It's very interesting, it's like this, having this understanding of the expression of your own power. It requires a bit of patience, and there's something interfering with this because you're hypervigilant. That's the block, and that's what needs to be silenced in a way. Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also remember to subscribe to the newsletter also, so we can keep in touch. And I hope to see you again very soon.